Well, that was an episode. I mean, so that was Star Wars, right, Ryan Milky? Star Wars. We were watching
I just need
Star
to
Wars.
gauge where we are with this because I don't know if we're on the different fences again. So
I just want to make sure I watched Star Wars when I clicked into Disney Plus yesterday at 9 p.m. I just want to make sure that was what I was watching.
It was, bro. It was the Acolyte episode 3. We're going to break it down. We're going to talk about it, I'm sure. Very interesting intro. I want to say a happy birthday to my amazing co-host, Headless Ned Stark. Happy birthday, sir.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate that.
I am on your drink of choice. I am on Brewdog IPA.
There we go. What's up, Quick? What's up, Arcade? How you doing, brother? Dude, Acolyte episode 3. Man, oh man, what do I have to say about this? Dude, I'll be honest with you. So, like, all day long, after watching that twice last night, I was stirring, dude. I was stirring. I wanted to make a video all day. And I'm like, I started watching Den of Nerds, and I'm like, okay, this will get my mind off of that. And then I started talking to you a little bit, and I'm like, oh, do I want to go make a video right now? And I'm like, I'm going to hold it for the live. I ended up holding out. I went to dinner with some friends for my birthday and everything. Thanks, Arcade. Appreciate it, brother. And dude, I got some video of the play. I don't even know how this live is going to go because I'll tell you what, honestly, the episode.
I can understand where you're coming from a diehard Star Wars fan. I can understand how this absolutely irritates every single nerve in your system. To this is not Star Wars. But on the other hand, we are being told a story that is separate to the Skywalker saga that you are so in love with and that everybody is in love with. All the lore and everything that we are all obsessed with as Star Wars fans is focused and surrounded by that Skywalker lineage. Yeah? So going to a place like this now, set in a High Republic era, meeting these new people who are very similar to some of the people that we know, like women with spiked heads look like Maul. Apparently, females of that species can't have horns, so it's not the species of Maul, apparently. But that's just a side note. I get how they might be telling different stories about how certain things work, like the Force, with the threads and all that we're going to get into. It's different, and it breaks logic and canon to what we already are told and have learned all these years. I get why you're upset, but I also can understand and kind of like how they've had the big balls to go, do you know what? We're going to upset some people with this, but we're going to go with it anyway. And finally, I didn't see any lesbian stuff, so I don't know what everyone was talking about. Come off it.
Yeah.
Like, everyone was going mad about lesbian. What?
Yeah, so the whole lesbian thing, I mean, was totally blown out of proportion. I mean, obviously they have the two mothers, the two main mother characters in the series, and like I said, the one is clearly it's got to be from Dathomir. Although I thought that she looked terrible, dude. Like okay, we spent Disney. Like again, if you don't know this in the chat. Disney spent $180 million on 8 episodes. We're on episode 3. Dude, where is that budget? Like, she looked terrible, dude. Like, is she supposed to be the same species as Darth Maul, Savage Opress?
No.
Dude, it's awful looking. And then we get the
CGI
mother. Like, dude, Yoda is a Muppet in Empire Strikes Back. Looks better than she does. Where is the budget? And once again, like, okay, so we're gonna break this thing down, guys. But I have to just go. I have to go crazy for a second. So the Jedi come in during the seance or whatever they're doing, dude. It looks like, all right, stage left. Come on in the shot. Like, where? I don't understand it. It looked like a freaking high school play, dude. Like, come on in, guys. Come on in. Walk in. It's your cue's on. Dude, it was so terrible. It was so.
There is no world building whatsoever. It feels like it's all in one volume. It does feel like that. There's no world building at all. I don't get it. Evening, everybody in the chat. I see everybody chatting. Headless is losing his mind here right now. Yeah. Good evening to Joe. Good evening to Lucy Skywalker, Christina Payne, Poppy Missouri, Quickdraw, everybody. Great to see you all. Like I said, I just feel like it was definitely a different portraying set in a world that everybody is so comfortable with, and I think that's why everyone was so upset with it. I'm not as personally upset with it as you are. I can see some stories that they're trying to go with here, and also knowing that this was originally set out as in what's her name? Sorry, I've just lost her name. The sister.
Which one? OSHA?
This movie was set out to be no. This movie was set out to be a different character entirely, and they went with somebody else. I can't think of her name right now. It's just slipping my mind.
I'm not sure what you're talking about, bro. Was it? Who are you talking about?
Yeah, the girl from Clone Wars, the one that I really like, that we all thought was dead or supposedly dead.
Oh, Barasafi?
No, the Darth Sith, the lady, the tall
Asajj Ventress?
Yeah, this storyline was pitched as an Asajj Ventress storyline, and the woman that ran with this said no, but went with different aspects. So I feel like the Mother Talzin representation that we kind of got in this episode was backbones of what was originally for the storyline. You know what I mean? It is messed up, but it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be shown to us as a TV show.
So okay, I don't think this is gonna be a regular like live, because I don't think I can literally break this whole thing down. There's just a few things I gotta talk about. So number one, okay, I have absolutely no problem with these supposed, the two women who have the kid. Okay, it's fine. I don't give a shit, dude. Like, if you went out and got some sperm, like, am I saying sperm on a live right now, dude? If you go get some sperm and you freaking put it in her and it makes the kids, okay, cool. That do whatever you gotta do, right? My biggest problem with this episode is that you're telling me that these witches that we never heard of came up with a way to create not only one child, but two child. So we have twins, and they're force sensitive, and they don't look like the mother who actually gave birth to them in any way. Because the mother who looks like Darth Maul, who's from Dathomir, okay, has horns on her head, and the kids don't look like anything like that. So, what is the explanation for this? Like, I would say that's my biggest problem with this episode. It doesn't make any sense. And the other fact is that, dude, the chant, dude, come on, the chant was so bad. It was so bad. Like, I was laughing during the episode. I can't believe I'm gonna wake up Lady Stoneheart because I was laughing so loud last night. Like, what are we watching? Like, they're chanting the ridiculous lines, and oh, dude, I don't know, man. Like, listen,
the moons had came into a line, right? And they found that this was the time to do their magic. I don't see an issue with them explaining a different way. I just see it as a religion. That's all I see it is. It's okay. It's how some Christians say it's God and Muslims say it's Allah. It's the same thing, but it's called something different. It's because it's from a different telling of a story. That's how I see it. It was just the Jedi don't seem as polished and proper as they are 100 years down the line. I kind of understood it a little bit.
Like, I understand that. Like, people have different views of a religion, and I agree. Like, I definitely have different views of different religions that friends of mine follow, right? I get it. We all have different takes. And they have this different take of the Force, or what they like to call the thread.
The thread.
Right, that's fine. And that's actually not the first time we've heard of this, believe it or not. So I don't know how many people in the chat, or even yourself, know that. But this is not the first time.
The other time we heard of the thread was from the Night Sisters with the Ahsoka stuff, but that was from the correlation of, like, Hades. You remember when in Hades would cut the chain and that would kill the soul. So I think that's from a different, completely mythological standpoint.
Well, okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna play what we heard yesterday versus what we heard in Ahsoka, because we did. The Night Sisters are talking to Grand Admiral Thrawn about this.
Yeah,
and
they talk about the thread.
yeah, so here we'll play 2 short clips.
All living things are connected by the same thread, a thread woven through all of existence.
Okay, so that's what they said last night, and then here's what the Night Sisters say in Ahsoka.
The thread of fate has spoken to us.
Another comes, a Jedi.
So they're basically saying that the thread is their version of what they call the Force, which I have absolutely no problem with. Like, it's fine. Like, it's like you said, Ryan, it's like me not being a Catholic and seeing what the Catholic religion is and what they do and all that with the kneeling down, and then they take the bread and all that stuff, right? Like, I don't want to get all religious, but like, and then it's what I'm, it's what my I guess my point of view on that would be. So I have no problem with that. Like, the whole word, the thread, is not really a big issue for me. My biggest problem is that, and again, I know a lot of YouTubers out there that have kind of talked about this, because yes, the Plagueis novel, which as much as I want it to be canon, technically is not canon. Although we have heard Palpatine talk about Plagueis, in episode 3, we all know the speech. I have
Very
a little
unnatural.
Yeah, I have a little small cut. Let's play it up real quick.
You ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? He could use the Force to influence the midi-chlorians to create life.
So obviously that's somewhat cut, because he also talks about how he can stop people from dying. But the key here for this series is that he's talking about how he can create life. So if you did not know this, okay, and again, I'm going to try to keep this as brief as possible because there is a lot here. Again, technically not canon. The Plagueis novel talks about how Tanabus, who is Plagueis' master, has been trying to figure out how to survive forever. And this is where we get, somehow Palpatine returned, because Palpatine is on the same warpath, because, Plagueis.
You learn what your predecessor passes on. So,
right.
However developed they are, you're going to be as their master. Yeah.
Plagueis is in the middle of them, right? So we have Tanabon, and then we have Plagueis, and then we have Palpatine. So we have like the trio there. And it's funny because each master kills the other master, and then eventually we see Vader kill Palpatine until he somehow returns, of course. But it's my biggest issue is this: Plagueis and Palpatine in the novel, Plagueis, Darth Plagueis it's called, and they spend decades upon decades trying to figure out exactly how to create life and how to extend your life beyond death. It is basically what the novel is about. And again, I understand it's not canon. I get that. So Disney can pretty much do whatever they want, which is pretty obvious from this episode. But with all this being said, there's definitely a way that we can save this. Because again, we're going to get into the episode here in a minute. But if we're thinking that this witch is the one who came up with the idea, or not came up with the idea, but came up with the way to create a human or create a new being using the thread, which is the Force, basically. It's just the way they view it. So can Disney save this? By that Sith we saw at the end of episode 1
being the father.
No, being Tanabus, or worst case scenario being Plagueis. And then this is how they learned. This is how they learned.
It's not Plagueis. Plagueis is depicted as a long-formed head, so that we've seen the head of this guy.
True.
So it can't be. I'm not getting on that bandwagon that it's Plagueis. I'm sorry.
And I agree. I don't think it's Plagueis either. But I'm okay with it being Tenenbaum because he is the one who this was his original idea. Plagueis took his ideas after he murdered him, and he's like, he couldn't figure it out. I'm going to figure it out. And then after they decided, they did figure it out because it's all like, kind of like the one dude says in the, I can't remember his name in the freaking Last Jedi dude, but the dude who goes, here, let me see. I think I got it right here, actually. Where is it? I know I got it, dude. Of course I can't find it when I'm in it. Oh, here we go. This dude right here, right?
The Emperor is dead. Dark science. Cloning. Secrets only the Sith knew.
Like, I can't even tell you how many times I've heard over the last 24 hours, secrets only the Sith knew. Dark science. Like, it's unbelievable how that quote is making this show somewhat relevant. Because if you watch it as what it is, it's god-awful. Like, honestly, dude, the acting was terrible. I didn't even like Soul in this episode. The twins were awful. Like, God love them. Like I'm sure the actresses are fine. But every part of the episode I felt like they were smiling every single time, dude. Like, it was really odd. I've watched this episode, honestly. I've watched it 5 times. 5 times. And every time I'm looking straight at those two twins, there's some weird stuff going on. Like, they're just laughing, and it's like, it's not serious.
The innocence of children. We've been introduced to them in the first episode where they've had to basically find out that one of them is alive again, and they've had so much trauma forced on them in that first 2 episodes. Yeah. And now we're getting flashbacks to them being children. So I kind of understand the smiles as they're just being innocent children. They don't know what they're getting themselves into. They've been brought into this world however they've been brought in. I still don't quite understand why you're upset with all that stuff. Like, is it canon that Palpatine gave birth to? Is it canon that Palpatine is the father of Anakin, or is that just something that was apparently in a comic that Maul heard? I've read somewhere that Maul heard a story in a comic.
No, it's not. It's not Palpatine. It's definitely Plagueis is the one. So Plagueis
is the father of Anakin.
Well, I mean, father depends how you want to define it, but basically,
did he use the Force to make you pregnant?
So here's the thing. Okay, so Plagueis and Palpatine. So obviously it was Plagueis in Tenenbaum before that, but basically it was Palpatine and Plagueis who were way into this dark science, trying to figure out how to create life, how to save life. That was like what they were trying to do in the novel, right?
So is this show portraying that they did that with the twins? Is that what this show is trying to say? That they did it?
I don't know.
Or is that your Star Wars mind trying to connect what you already know with the story to a story that we're being told that's different? Don't know.
Maybe a little bit, but like so Plagueis is the one who's playing around with this dark science. They feel like they figure something out, and the idea with Anakin Skywalker is that although yes, we know he becomes Darth Vader, it kills how many people, right? But he does end up destroying the Sith in the end. Okay, at least in Return of the Jedi. So the reason why Anakin Skywalker is created to begin with was because of the meddling of Plagueis and Palpatine. Because he failed so many times in trying to create new life, the Force is like, well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to create this person who's the chosen one who's going to end you. And then he ended up doing it. And this is the biggest problem with The Rise of Skywalker and the sequel trilogy is because, well, then if this all happens and Palpatine does happen to return, what was the point of the first 6, movies of Star Wars, of what is Star Wars and what I consider is Star Wars? Because everything since Return of the Jedi at this point, just it doesn't make any sense. And it's kind of a train wreck. It was what they're trying to do. Now, we get the lines from the Night Sisters from Dave Filoni's Ahsoka about the thread. So, again, I have no problem with a whole other group or species or faction seeing the Force is something different. Because again, like we talked about this, like it's like me seeing the Catholic religion is something a little bit different, and me just calling it something different because I don't believe in that.
It's a
So
higher
that-
being that isn't there to be seen, so it's only there to be believed. So it's
Right.
it's up to your own interpretation, and we're all
Correct.
different.
Correct. So I have no problem with that. I don't really have a problem with the female on female thing that they did, and I think that's more. I think that's more Leslie Headland doing that more than anyone else. I think that's her thing. I don't really care. It doesn't matter to me. Like, listen, like I'm not gay. I know a few gay people, which is I have no problem with them. It doesn't matter to me. I would really love to know their take on seeing this. Like, does it do anything more for you knowing that they brought this into Star Wars? Because again, personally, I don't care. That doesn't matter to me in any kind of way. Like, it does nothing. And then there's a line in this episode, something like, we've been outcasted and people look down on us or something like that. And now I'm just like, dude, how are we not talking about like identity politics there, dude? Like, it's all like, I'm surprised Dave Filoni signed off on this, dude. It makes me a little bit angry. It does.
See, I struggled. I honestly struggled with the whole lesbian gay thing through, because I heard the rumors going into it before we watched the episode, and then I went into it and I didn't get anything, and I mean it, I didn't get anything to say that they were pushing this lesbian thing in our faces in Star Wars world. Yeah, there was these two female characters, and I genuinely didn't get that feeling. And I've heard Star Wars Theory today make a comment that kind of sickened me. He said that maybe you guys will take my opinion more seriously if I just came out as gay. And I was like, hang on a minute. That is completely wrong. And that's not what you should be saying. And that's the godfather of Star Wars in everyone's opinion. But
yeah,
it was one of those things. I didn't get that at all from the vibe. And I feel like the community in Star Wars has made that much a bigger thing than it actually ever is. Maybe the director supports LGBTQ. Awesome, we all do. It doesn't. I don't think it needs to have the highlight on it that it does. Whether it's a female relationship or a male relationship, it makes no difference.
Yeah.
To me, especially when you're telling the story of how these children have been created through the Force or the thread, you've made that explainable to me now. So I understand that they don't have a father, unless they bring it out later on that there is a father, and the Night Sisters hate the Jedi so much because they've already made a plan with the Sith. And they're working in conjunction with the Sith. Maybe that's why they already had the ill feeling towards the Jedi from the boot. That's just how I saw it from it.
Yeah, like I really don't think that's even the big problem of the episode. Like, it was such a small aspect. It was literally like 15.
But it was blown up so big.
I know, and that's not the issue with the episode. I at least what I'm gathering. Like, I guess I don't care in any way. It's the problem is that Anakin was always looked at this as the chosen one because the Force went against the dark side and said, okay, if you're going to meddle, then here is the chosen one who will bring balance
the consequences to
Force.
meddling. Yeah.
Right. And remember, and this is one thing that people do happen to forget a lot. And if you can go back all the way to the Mortis arc in the Clone Wars, that just the balance in the Force doesn't mean that there's some good and some bad. It just means that the good is overwhelming, and this is what the Force wants. They don't want bad people. And when the Force gets unbalanced is when the dark side rises. And the whole reason why Anakin was even created to begin with was because of the balance was way off, even though the Jedi didn't really know it, because Plagueis and Palpatine were in the shadows so heavily, and they really didn't know. I mean, again, think about the prequels. They had no idea that Palpatine was the Dark Sith Lord. They had no idea. They were so blinded by their way of life and their religion And again, and that's why I don't have a problem with what they've done with these witches in this series. The problem arises is when people are you're basically saying that these two twins that were magically born because somehow she figured it out, but you're telling me that Plagueis, who's one of the biggest Sith lords of all time, couldn't figure it out for decades, but this witch came up and we this is how we did it. So
that's why I think she's working with the Sith. I think she's working with the Sith.
So here is the one thing that can save this, okay? And we're gonna get to that fighter at the end because that was ridiculous. So obviously there's more going on. If there's not more going on with that fighter, dude,
we're going to get this episode from every other person's perspective. Next episode will be for someone else. The next episode will be for someone else. It'll be the same events every week, but it'll be from a different perspective. And that's why I think we'll find what the Jedi were up to and what other people were up to during that whole night. Yeah,
because there has to be more. But again, we'll talk about that in just a minute. Let me just finish my thought. So here's my final conclusion. This can definitely be saved, but again, I just don't know if Disney has the balls to do it. Because I don't know how much at this point they're against what George Lucas wanted, or not so much
wanted. George Lucas's story. It's just his world.
I get that, but they did buy his product, and how do you not
his
know
world.
that you're making people angry? Because dude, Disney is really screwing this up.
I think it's genius. I think it's absolutely genious. Get all the Star Wars people's backs up and make them all make videos, and now Disney's the talk of the town again. Look what they just did. And you just talked about the Anakin being created to balance the Force. What if this is just an absolute mindfuck and they ruin the reputation of Star Wars to the point where Anakin is created and then it balances it back out again and everyone's happy? You know what I mean? It makes sense.
I don't know because.
But how can it be saved? Please tell us. I keep interrupting you.
Okay, so. The way this whole thing can be saved is this Sith Lord who we don't know, and if he's not a Sith, I don't know how they're going to explain this, right? Because dude busts out his red lightsaber at the end of episode 1, no explanation. We're obviously going to see him toward probably the second half of the season, so we're probably going to see him episode 7 and episode 8. That's what I'm thinking. We may not even see this dude in the next 3 episodes, but. If they make this Sith or this, I don't even know what you want to call it. It's not even really an acolyte. Acolyte is someone who follows somebody, right? So it's obviously the girls who are the acolytes because
it's the power of 2, and he must have a master. So who's he following? That's how I think he's the acolyte. But go ahead.
That chant is a whole other thing. That might be a whole other video by itself. But the way they save this is if this, I'm just going to call him the Sith because I don't know what else to call him. If this Sith Lord that's behind the shadows ends up being probably at this point is going to be probably Plagueis' master, who's Tenebris. And if it's not Tenebris, if it is Plagueis, if they play it off where maybe he is just kind of looking in on this group of witches, maybe he's heard something, who knows how they could play it off. But maybe this is what gives him the idea of how to create his dark science to create life. And he sees that they somehow did it. Because I'll tell you what, if he comes in and he's the one who slashes all of them up, like, listen, thanks for doing my research. I don't need you anymore. He's the one who comes in and kills all those witches, which we obviously have not seen. I'd be okay with that. If it's the Jedi who end up coming in and killing all these people, I have a real issue with that. Why? Explain why. Why would they come in and do this? Because I have a feeling that's what they're trying to make us think is that the Jedi did this. Because, dude, there's no way that little candle lighting her little notebook on fire created this huge blaze of flames that killed everybody. There's no chance.
No. Clearly somebody had tampered with the reactor core because that wasn't even in the place where the fire was. It was in a different area. So we're going to find out who messed with the reactor core. and that's going to be somebody. Lucy Skywalker says, "Are you guys done with Star Wars too?" No, I'm not. I'm genuinely honest. I love when TV shows and companies do this kind of stuff because it makes for interesting conversations like this tonight, and it makes people talk about it, and it gets me to Sunday quicker. So that's all I care about. But no, I completely agree. It's insane how they're doing it. I would like your story to be true though, that it is this Tenebris guy. I think you're still holding on to hope and holding on to a story that you already know regarding the Skywalker lineage. Like, I think it would be they just need to go somewhere else and do a different storytelling. I see the duality of the girls, where one is made with the light side, one is made with the dark side. It's the balance. Their creation is a balance in itself. The whole moons came in line to do the chants. That was a whole dark and light side of this. I saw all that symbolism within the episode. Yeah, I'll continue to watch it.
I mean,
Just
I'm going to
see
continue
if it drops off a cliff or if it gets better.
I mean, I'm going to continue to watch it. Like, I'm not going to just quit, right? Like, Star Wars is... Star Wars
is this Star Wars to you, though?
Yeah, and that's my biggest problem. Is like, it doesn't... Like, okay, let's kind of go back to the beginning, right? Dude, the music alone, to me, feels like it should belong in, like, Lord of the Rings. Like, the tones and the music, it doesn't... Like, so I watched episodes 7 and 8 of Ahsoka today because I wanted to see the music, because that's I mean, dude, Ahsoka came out after Mando season 3, right? Mando season 3 was a disaster, right? But I'm pretty sure Ahsoka was the last thing we broke down for Star Wars. And for Ahsoka 7 and 8, the music is on key, dude. Like, the music and just everything, it just feels like Star Wars. Dude, when I listen to this episode, to me it feels like this should be Lord of the Rings. I have a real issue with the music. Number 2, go back and listen to it, dude. Like, go back and try to not even listen to the talking, but like when they, like
the first opening scene is the trumpets, and that's very much the original Star Wars sound, and then it changes into more of an upbeat thing. But I get it. I felt very Star Wars reminiscent throughout all of it. I like that comment from Joe. Headless is one episode away from punching his monitor, and he's the same. Interesting. You both are massive Star Wars guys, so to hear that from both of you is insane. But
it's just,
all of a sudden everyone is a lesbian, and we had no idea. Droids, which is, again, I don't get that comment. They never made that relevant to me at all.
Well, I mean, there's definitely droids.
Yeah, droids. Solo,
dude. Think of Solo. Yeah. Solo's just the droid in Solo was awful. It kind of reminds me of Spaceballs. Honestly, like, think of how annoying that droid is in Spaceballs.
I saw your comment today in Josh's. You were like Acolyte equals Willow, and I was like, what a comment.
No. The comment was Willow was better than Acolyte, because at least Willow, the music was good, the soundtrack was good. Although we had the TikTok Avengers, I mean, at least, I don't know, dude. Like, this episode, like, I didn't have much of a problem with the first 2 episodes. Like, I literally gave the first episode an 8 out of 10. Like, I thought it was good. I thought it was a decent starter. I just need more character development. And this episode, dude, we didn't get any character development for these girls.
No.
Dude, May is like just a mean girl the whole episode because Osha doesn't want to follow the same path as her. So she's all mad. And then the one mom is like the 80s mom that wants discipline, which I love. And then the other mom is the 2020s mom who's like, oh, no, girls will be girls. Like, I just feel like, dude, I don't know, man. I just feel like it was all over the place. I feel like that she is putting some personal experience in this. And it's so frustrating to me being such a Star Wars fan. And I watched it, like I said, I watched it 5 times, dude. And it gets worse and worse every single time I watch it. It just does.
I'd say, rethinking about the episode, the one lesbianism you could, if you're going to grab at straws, There's one scene where she talks to the mother and she says, "I do want to be a Jedi." You could interpret that as a daughter coming out to a mother about her sexuality, and mother, I do want to be. You know what I mean? So I get it, but it didn't make any difference to the storyline. I am on the other fence to you, bro. I actually didn't hate it. There was certain things like the fire, like some of the acting choices, like I didn't get it. Like Torben, we just found out the other day that Torben is played by the same actor that plays Tommen in Game of Thrones, and it was insane that we never even caught that. He was a bit like in that show. But we've been on for 40 minutes. I don't think we started breaking it down. So
I know, and this may not be the typical breakdown live stream because there's so much. But I'm going to pull up. Let's talk about this. So let's just we'll try to think about the storyline that we're trying to tell. But I'm gonna pull up this. I tried to enlarge it the best I could, and I don't even know, Milky, if you had even realized that this was in the video. But I saw this on my third viewing, and and obviously other YouTubers have pointed this out. So I'm like, oh yeah, that does look a little bit strange. So let me. I don't know, how is it? Okay, so. Do you notice that? So this is okay. So let me put up on stream so everybody can see. Okay, so if we look at Tommen, who's Tobin, Team Tobin, right? Do you see the big slash right here above his eye?
Yeah.
Now that is not actually that's not the picture that I wanted to show because I actually made
it's
it
from
better.
The trailer when the Wookiee jumps at him, right?
No, so this is at the end of this episode. Oh man, let me did I get the wrong one? Oh man. Let me take that down for a minute. It
was nice to see Indira back, by the way, because last week I was really annoyed that she was killed off in the first episode, and it's nice that we've gone back in time and we're still getting some storylines with her. I don't know if you noticed though, in Indira's head, she only had one dot in this one, and when she was killed in the first episode, she had 2 black dots on the side of her head. I don't know if you caught that, but that was quite interesting to see what that represents going forward. Maybe she dies and comes back to life again, or
I think she's dead. All right, here we go. Here's the one I wanted. Okay, so let me pull this up on stream. So here we go. There we go. So if you closely look at that picture. I don't know if you need to enlarge it or whatever, but I think it's pretty obvious that there's
I can see it.
A scar or a cut. Look at the bruising to the far right of his eye. You know, this ain't no Aemon Targaryen eye cut, right? But there's clearly something going on there.
Right.
Why did he have that? Because, dude, listen, this guy killed himself last episode. He killed himself. Like, there has to be something that happened. So
but he was much older, and he'd been taking some oath. He did something that made him go back and take this oath where he never spoke to anybody ever again, and he sat in solitude like he did in that state of mind. So he's going to do something within the next couple of episodes. Maybe he's the one who started this fire, and he has to do what he has to do. We don't know, but that's why I said earlier that we're gonna go back from different point of views on this one scene.
I agree.
I've heard that episode 5 is going to be the one to watch, and I think episode 5 might be the one that we get from Soul's perspective, and I think that Soul's perspective might be the most poignant. There's certain things in this that frustrated me with Soul, but I'm sure we'll get to it.
Yeah, I mean, Dan, you're 100% correct. So I've heard the same thing. Dan says, well, the creator of the series did say in an interview that she's doing this on purpose to make the fanboys mad. And I think that the mission is accomplished. Yeah, I mean, I've definitely heard the same thing, which, you know, if the explanation is there, I don't have a problem with it. But you can't show episode 3 to people and not give much of an like, honestly, that episode to me was just boring. Like, nothing happened. Like, we already know who the twins were. See, you thought all I don't know, dude. Like, I already knew all that going in. Like, and I don't know.
The fire at the end was the most intriguing part. That was the part that I was like, this is stupid the way this happened, but I like that this is going this way because we're going to see the story as to why the girls were separated and what was really going on. And I like it. And then, just little things with Indira, different stuff.
All right, so here's a question I have for you, for someone who's more neutral on this episode. Here's my question for you. You have no problem with these, I guess we'll call it a coven of witches, which maybe they were the Sith, the Sith Acolyte that we see at the end of Rise of Skywalker. Maybe they are part of or become the Night Sisters. I mean, I don't know. I don't have the date of when the Night Sisters became a thing on Dathomir. I have no idea. Okay, fine. So if they're one of those two things, okay, that's fine. But my question is, you have no problem with them showing this group of witches and saying that what's the best way to say this to you? I'm trying to think of the best way, dude. They are, I don't even know how to say it to you. I wish I had the words, dude, because there's so much. You don't have a problem with them saying that these witches. Oh, I think we lost Milky. Uh-oh. Good. It gives me a second to think about what I want to ask them, because there's so much here. I don't know. I mean, this whole scene here seems to me like it's going to be. I mean, I like there has to be something why Tobin ended up taking the poison and basically said, "Listen, I'm going to kill myself after being, basically dormant for 10 years." And here's my other question. Okay, so why 10 years? Why not 16 years? Why is it only 10 years? I mean, that's the other odd thing with it. I don't know. But Milky will be back. He'll be back. He's probably reloading. So the question I have for him is basically just like, why does he think that these witches and so May says a line, right? May says a line saying that she wants to kill her sister. Dude, I have a serious issue with that. Like the whole episode, they're singing songs and she wants to be with her all the time. And then all of a sudden she's like, "Oh yeah, no, I'll just kill you." Like it's so horrible. Like, and maybe we can just blame it on bad writing at this point. I don't know, but this is such an odd thing for a child to say. Like, I don't know. It just, to me, it just seems off. And to me, this whole episode it doesn't seem like Star Wars. It seems like a totally different agenda is trying to happen. I'm really curious, though, to see what happens next week. Because are we going to get an episode where it's from the Jedi's view? Or are we just going to continue from where episode 2 left off? I don't know. The one thing I did like about this episode is that Jord was not in the episode. So that was a win right there, because that dude is super annoying. I don't know, chat. What do you guys think? I'm going to put up a poll. Let's go to poll. We're going to do a poll. All right. So what grade do you give episode 3?
Sorry about that. My power went out. I'm back.
Yeah, no worries, bro. We're just talking.
You were mid me a question, and then my power just went out. I was like, damn
it. It's like, yeah, I kind of explained a little bit, but we can go back over it. Right now we're doing a poll. I want to see what the chat kind of thinks about this episode. We have 11 people in there right now, so let's go ahead and vote on that, guys. Don't forget, smash that like button. Smash that like button too.
So I see Joe's comment here saying that they can produce life from the Force. So is that your biggest issue with it, Joe? that they've come out with this storyline that they could do this. Because I always assumed that everyone was okay with that because they did that with Anakin. That's what I assumed everyone was okay with.
I think what he's saying is the part of the problem is that like I kind of mentioned earlier is that Plagueis and Palpatine worked decades and decades and decades trying to figure out how to create life and how to save someone from dying. Like it comes right
so
from
the
Palpatine.
issue is why these witches can do it all of a sudden.
What? Yeah, and there's no explanation of why they
Not
actually
yet.
of why they can do it. I mean, here we'll play the quote real quick.
You ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? He could use the Force to influence the midi-chlorians to create life.
I mean, there it is. I mean, but these witches knew this before. So, like I said, if Tenebris or Plagueis is in the background and they're like using them for their witch powers or their witch magic, which is fine, and this is a step toward them figuring out how to do it. And maybe they just messed it up, maybe they didn't use it correctly, which is why the Force created Anakin to begin with. I'm fine with that, but this shit has to be explained, dude. Like we can't go the rest of this season and not touching upon this at all. That will be the number one mistake. And I think, yes, I do. I think some people are jumping the gun. Yes, I do, because we don't know what episode 4, 5, and 6 are going to say.
So do you not think you're jumping the gun?
I probably a little bit, but that's what I'm saying. But you have to bring in one of those two players. You can't have the Sith Lord be Anastasia, the mom. She survived, and now she's the one who's the Sith Lord. Dude, if that will be awful. It will be completely awful. Dude, I need to see a scene where Plagueis is ripping through those witches because, like, thank you very much for finding out what I could not figure out. You figured it out. Boom. We don't need you anymore. Now we're gonna go our way. Dude, that's awesome. I love that. But again, why does that dude have a big scar on his face? Because this is what I'm afraid of, is that they're going to be creating a scenario where somehow the Jedi end up killing all the witches, the Jedi are the bad guys. But
what's wrong with that? That's a different story to what you're already aware of. It's a different telling in the same world. Why can't the Jedi be bad to a different aspect and view? Like we had spoke about the religions earlier. It's just being viewed from a different side of the world. The Jedi could be bad or they could be good, depending on what side you're on. I don't see an issue with the Jedi being the bad guys. I quite like it. It's different. It's something that we haven't seen.
But
and I didn't like Yoda.
Well, right. That's fine. But like moving forward, going into the prequels and then especially the OG trilogy, you have no problem like with Luke being part of what the problem is. Like,
well, no, maybe that was why everything had to change, and the Jedi saw what was happening and the way that they were being manipulated by all these outside people, and maybe they came together and were more of a unite person, and that's how you get the prosperous years of the Yodas and the Mace Windus and all those. You know, they weren't swayed by the decisions of the past. Maybe I don't know.
Oh, dude, I don't know. Dino says it's not even that. It's that they told the 4 Jedi, and it did. Yeah, and then they put it over the next. There's nobody. Yeah, I mean that's the thing, dude. Like,
Scarif's coming in and saying people are losing their minds, betraying the Jedis. I agree, and I don't see an issue with it. Like, it's changing the storyline that we're already currently up to, and that's my biggest thing with it. If they're going to tell us stories that aren't connected to the Skywalker stuff, then cool. Like, I get the Tenebris and all that stuff is still lore within the world of Star Wars, but it's all a vessel and a way to explain story that leads to Anakin. Dino Joe says, if it turns out that the Jedi killed the Coven because they were scared that they could produce life through the Force, then they have sworn each other to secrecy. I still think Sol knows what happens. I agree.
Well, I think Sol knows what happened for sure.
Is the key, and he's episode 5, I believe.
Okay, because like even in the beginning of the episode, when they showed Sol creeping behind the tree, like he's freaking Jason Voorhees, looking at the next teenage girl that can murder. thought that was creepy. I'm like, what is that about? That was weird. Like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, good point, Gareth. Since we don't know the rest of the story, maybe you should drop it all at once. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
it probably was the right series to do that. Drop it all at once.
Yeah. But again, then they wouldn't have people talking like this. You know, they really wouldn't. You know, it is. You're right. It's hard to say because you don't know how it's going to end. The biggest problem, and just going by track record, right, for Disney Star Wars, is that, dude, how many times do we sit here during Ahsoka breakdowns and say, this would be amazing, this would be amazing, this would be amazing, and look what we ended up getting at the end. Like, we absolutely loved episodes 4, 5, and 6 in Ahsoka. We loved them. And then episode 7 was okay. Episode 8, we were pissed because of the Sabine force push of and you know, the best push ever, and she trained for 36 seconds. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, I love the ending of Ahsoka. I want Mortis gods to come into play. But if we're going all the way back, you know, it's like, yeah, 100 years before the Phantom Menace, it's far. But dude, it's not as far as you think. Because Yoda's around, Okun is around. Why? Like,
they're not explaining any of these people, are they? That's the issue.
Right. What are these dudes doing right now? We have 4 Jedi.
We need them in there, though.
We have 4 Jedi that talk and communicate. Half of them are dead. We have a couple new guys, or a couple new Jedi, you know, in the current Acolyte time, you know, who are Padawan or whatever. Dude, I don't know. It's really
chilling in the basement has dropped you 2 death sticks as a small bribe to come join him in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Check out Chilling in the Basement.
Come join him. Yes. Chilling in the basement. Yes, my man. He's gonna be going live in like 30 minutes. And dude, maybe if we're still alive at that point, I'll come join you for a little bit.
Bro, I'm gonna raise my beer and say I hope we're not still live, but we might be.
Yeah.
I mean, always agree that the live breakdown should never be longer than the episode itself, but we always seem to break that rule.
Listen, it's my birthday. I'm like, what am I, Milky? Like 22 now? I think I'm 22. I'm pretty sure I'm right around that age.
Yeah, bro.
You know, so yeah, 22, maybe 23. And yeah, so I've had a few cerveza, but dude, I've literally been stirring about this all day because I wanted to make a video so bad, but I'm like, I need to save it for the live. And I know I'm missing things. I know I am that I originally wanted to say, but
Scarif says, side note, I need the plans to your background Imperial Lights Headless.
I stole these from the last Death Star actually before it blew up. So yeah. Or it's called Etsy, by the way.
So from what I'm getting, you really didn't like the episode and you're probably going to score this pretty low. I'm very neutral with this story right now, and I kind of disliked it, but also liked the story that they were going with it. So you're probably going to be surprised with my score. So it's interesting that I don't feel I'll be able to change your opinion this week. Usually I have a good sense that we can have a good chat and maybe you might gain a star or a star and a half. But I think this week you're pretty much screwed into where you're in. But I do like the way the story's going, and I will be honest, I think it's a good story. It's a very Western thing where you don't know who did it. It's kind of something magic happens or crazy happens and you don't know who did it, and now we're going to find out who did it. I haven't got that much of an issue if it is the Jedi.
So let me wait. Let me just have it right there, because I agree. I like the mystery of it. The problem is, Brian, is that I just don't understand why that it has to be like, why do we have to drag it on then? Like, you know, like, and maybe this is just what she's trying to do. Maybe is she just trying to like get everyone talking about it? But like, dude, there's so many YouTubers like, oh, I'm done with Star Wars. I'm not even talking about it. Don't even come to my stream anymore because I'm not talking about it. Like, that's not really what you want. Like, I feel like there should have been more information given in this episode. And why does that, like I feel like everyone knows. Like, okay, so Torben obviously didn't kill himself because of what happened in this episode alone. There's no chance. Like, so we know there's more. Like, we understand that. But like the fact that the May would go to Osha, dude, you're talking like, what are these girls? Like 8 years old? I'm gonna kill you. Like the writing is so awful. It's just like, what 8-year-old kid is gonna say that to their sister?
Well, what if she just was tested by the Jedi? She was just tested by the Jedi. So what if she was tested by the Jedi and instantly saw that as a dislike and was closer to the Sith then because of that? She'd had the experience of the Jedi and was closer as that duality sister, which is clearly the darker side of the two. She then became darker. And the other one was clearly lighter because she just chose she wanted to be a Jedi. I think it was perfect shadowing of the storyline. The one had just become almighty and all powerful with the light and the good side, as we're supposedly supposed to believe from what we've already been told. And the other one clearly went to the darker side and was like, I'm going to kill you. Like, I get it. It was a good storytelling. That's what I liked about it. I don't like that it was a little bit to what we've already been told from the first couple of episodes. Like the first 2 episodes, I got the feeling like the sisters loved each other and it was what the other people had done to them that had forced them apart. Whereas in this episode, I felt like the sisters ended hating each other. And I don't know how they're going to fix that.
And so when before they started doing their chant, that I literally spit out a beer.
I am for you and you are for me and we are together as whatever.
Oh, dude, it was so terrible. The one is many, two is many. Oh my God, dude. I couldn't, it was so cringe. But before that happened, you had no problem with the speech that, oh, everyone's against us because we're all female. Like, dude, I just saw the agenda.
Did they say we were all female? Did they say that?
They are all female. Like, we know that.
But they're also all black.
Yeah, I mean, well.
So which one were they going on? Which one were they going on? They were all black. They were all female. They were all witches that weren't from this world. So for me, I never thought that they dig down on one point specific as to why they weren't welcome. There was lots of things that you could, from this day's society, pick on as to say that's why they were disliked, because of their gender, because of their skin color, because of whatever. Yeah. I think that's up to us to determine. I don't think it was ever said. She just said, we're not welcome here. Where? Yeah. They're not even on their own home planet. You got to remember that. They're not from there. They're not from Zabrak. They're from a different place, and then they went there for rescue.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know, dude. It's just
that's why I love these combos, because it's back and forth.
Yeah, it's just the way it was portrayed. I don't know. Like I said, dude, like they could literally fix all of this one easy way. You make it Plagueis and call it a day. And this is how Plagueis started figuring out how to create this. Dude, there's nothing more than I would love in episode 8 when the season's over and you see freaking Plagueis with his long head just slicing through all of these witches.
Remember what they did to the Grand Inquisitor? Look what they did to the Grand Inquisitor. They shrunk his head as well in Kenobi, right? So they could do the same with Plagueis, I guess. He might not have a long head. He might just be a normal human head.
Dude, I already told you. You need to cast Adrian Brody. I already told you that.
Would you be okay with an abnormal size head or a normal size head for Plagueis?
Dude, listen. It can't be as bad as the CGI on the old lady witch, because that was awful. Dude, that was...
So chill in the basement. Thank you. I believe the line was, the galaxy doesn't accept women like us.
There you go.
After referencing their powers that some would call dark. So yeah, they're just the galaxy doesn't accept people that are willing to work with the dark side of the Force. So it's already a line that we're already familiar with the Star Wars. Like Sith aren't welcome, so it makes sense.
We got our super chat from Chillin. Appreciate you, bro. I just meant he doesn't want me. So you don't want me to come on? I get it, bro. I get it, bro. We're gonna have you on
after that many drinks. I wouldn't want him on.
We're gonna definitely have you on probably next week or the week after. So I'm gonna have to message Vanessa Marshall and see what episode she wants to come on.
Yeah, just know next week, guys. My mind will not be with Star Wars. Like my show comes back.
Yes, definitely. And then Skara, are you sure he only had one survey? So
no, he's had 6.
No comment. All right, guys. So Chillin's going live in like 25 minutes. I definitely recommend you guys go over there. he'll be live for like 7 hours because he does lives like 7 hours. And
He just goes on and
I
on and on and on.
I actually fell asleep on Saturday to his live. True story. Yeah, his lives are like 7-8 hours. So if you want to talk, you go over there. So here's the last thing I want to talk about. So I have to bring it up. So let me play this clip. This is from Rise of Skywalker. Rise of Skywalker. So listen to the clip.
What?
Here we go.
A dyad in the Force, unseen for generations.
Unseen for generations. Is this what we're talking about? Is the dyad of these two girls? What do you think?
Yes, because the girls are a duality of the Force. It is pure and simply clear right in front of our face. One is light, one is dark. What they were created for some greater being, or however that's going to tell out its story. Yes, maybe that is where we're going, and maybe that is a good way to connect something that is so far disconnected from the original story to a show that clearly is so far disconnected to the original story. And it's like an umbrella effect. Everything from that end to that end tells this story. I like it. Now that you brought that up, I never once thought of that. I don't have fond memories of those movies, so I don't remember quotes.
Because remember, the whole key is answering this question.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
There you go.
Yeah.
So this whole Force dyad thing, I absolutely hated it in the sequels, right? But if they're going to bring it back, can we at least explain it? Because I still don't really understand what it is all about. I just don't. And the whole reason why Rey and Kylo were on Force dyad, it still doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. Like, it really doesn't, like, because it's what, the granddaughter and then the son of his. It's not even his daughter. Like, it's so weird. Like, what if they're gonna play up this Force dyad? Can we explain it then, please? Because it's really odd to me. Like, I don't know. It's the whole thing.
Episodes, bro.
It didn't make sense in Rise of Skywalker. It was awful. And it's like, I get like J.J. Abrams did what he could to save Star Wars at that point. But what he did was awful. I mean, dude, those last two movies were so bad. I don't know, guy. I don't know. But I don't know. Hour 10. I don't know, dude.
Shellin says Lucasfilm using Rise to justify Acolyte. Talk about doubling down on stupid.
Yeah, I get it. Yep.
Scarif says, I'm not fond on the sequels either, but it is what it is. That's what we get. And I think I can accept this dyad thing as they're trying to quantify it. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, if they can help explain it, it would make a little more sense, at least, going all the way through, because, what are we, 140-ish years, 145 years maybe from Rise right now, from Acolyte.
When you think about it, really, like, Luke is the only one that stands. No, not Luke. Anakin's the only one that stands out as an individual, because you have the two dyads of the Sisters. You have Luke and Leia, and you have Kylo and Rey and Kylo. So Anakin's really the only one that didn't have an opposite.
Because he was the chosen one. Yeah, I know. JJ, yeah, I know. Yeah, there was definitely a pissing contest. That's the biggest
problem. Abrams and Johnson in a room with Dan and Weiss and Benioff, and just lock it, and don't let them out ever again. Yeah. Can you believe that they were going to take over Star Wars and do a Star Wars franchise?
Oh, dude, unbelievable.
How bad would that have been? You'd have been praying for Acolyte then.
I don't know, guys. Listen, we'll be back next week. We'll see what happens. I mean, I don't really know where it's going to go. At this point, it's just like, obviously the Jedi has something to do. Here's the other thing, Milky, too. Did you catch, because again, I watched it 5 times, so I caught it like 3 out of the 5 times. Did you notice that, like, when they're doing the training with the girls, and the girls are being super annoying, pushing each other, like, I thought that was like so annoying. And I'm just
kids
thinking,
being kids.
yeah, I'm just thinking as a teacher, but like, go sit yourself against the corner, bro, because like you're being, yeah. But then there's like if you watch it with the subtitles, like I watch it with all the time with subtitles, it said like crackling noise or something, and they look at the whatever you want to call it. It was some kind of power core, whatever that is in the middle of the main room. They show it,
yeah.
and yeah, the reactor. They show it, and she's like, "Oh, go to your room, kids." And they look at it, and there's really nothing going on, but there's like a little light. I don't know, dude. Like, I was like, "Well, is it really the Jedi, or is it like something else? Is it like just happened to blow up itself, and the fire thing happened at the same time?" Because, dude, there's no way that she lit this little piece of paper on fire, and then all of a sudden everyone died. Like, there's no chance. Like, if they don't,
it's symbolic for her to believe that she caused those deaths. It was all symbolic,
right? And it probably
even when
is
she
gonna.
lit the flame. Did you know it's two flames? Two flames when she lit it on fire. There was two flames. I was like, that was also very interesting. Why did they go with that? And then you had the Jedi symbol looked like the throne of Palpatine. Looked like Palpatine's throne. The Jedi symbol in that book that she burned.
So here's one more question. So why? Okay, so if these witches were so against the Force and the Jedi and what they stand for, why would these 8-year-old girls ever even know about the Jedi? Like, I feel like this girl knew everything about the Jedi. She's drawing their symbol. She wants to be one. Why would they ever even know about them?
Very good point. But maybe she'd been reached out by one of them. Maybe Yoda had reached out to her through the Force, or to know that you're sensitive. It does make no sense because the Jedi arrive on the planet and say, "Oh, we thought this place was uninhabited," although that is clearly a lie because the next sentence you're here to take the girls. Yeah. So it was like,
they obviously
know that the girls are there.
So
yeah, they are definitely not painting the Jedi out to be the cleanest of characters, and I quite like it because it's playing with what people love, and it's messing with people's emotions, and I just think it's great personally. The question is, did the Jedi mess with it, or did Corrin?
Yeah, Mother Corrin.
Oh, okay. I think the Jedi did something.
See, I think Corrin has something to do with this because she was a little off the entire episode, and knowing that she is, like maybe she's like I don't know. I don't want to say the mother of like Maul and Savage, but I mean, because it doesn't really fit the timeline, but like maybe she's like their great grandmother. I don't know, dude. Like, okay, so before we get out of here, I just gotta ask you one more thing, Milky. $180 million. So that's double what they spent on Kenobi in the first 3 episodes. Does it look like $22 million an episode? Like,
no.
Do you think this episode looked epic and grand? Like,
so that money, is that all taken into account as how much they spend on production, or is that all that's spent on the project entirety, including wages for actors and things like that? Because Indira, she's going to have a pricey tag on her. Soul is probably going to have a pricey tag on them. They're big names in the industry. Is that money being used for wages as well, or is that just production? Because it's just production. I don't know where it's going.
Let's say those two alone get $30 million. You're still talking $150 million. Like, again, like I feel like we had a basic widescreen shot of something that could have been completely CGI. Like I mentioned way back at the beginning of the stream, I thought that like when the Jedi entered, it was like a play. It was like, okay, enter stage left. Come on in, guys. And they just walk in together. There's nothing
the
going
music
on,
changed.
dude.
It was very weird.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, exactly. And like the acting was not great.
Wishes you happy birthday. Oh, sorry, Jar Jar Skywalker.
Jar Skywalker.
And then he says he's not listening to us because he's watching it later. So
yeah, no worries, brother.
Also,
no worries.
Are you under the assumption that this female mother with the spikes on her head is the same as Maul? Because I was under the assumption she's not the same species as Maul. Because the females in Maul's species do not have spikes. And she has spikes. So therefore she is not a Zabrak.
So what would she be then?
There's 2 species there's 2 there's two different species in Maul's like overlaying character of whoever he is. The females in Maul's species do not have horns. I was believed. You think it was confirmed that she was a Zabrak? Okay. See, I was just under the assumption that the female Zabraks didn't have horns.
How do you spell her? How do you spell her name? K-O.
I don't know, bro.
K-O. I don't know.
I'll pull up IMDb.
I would, yeah. Oh man.
How does stone burn? Obviously, that was an inside job. Very good point, Brad.
I mean,
stone just doesn't set on fire. Bricks and screws don't burn.
Yeah.
We had bricks and screws in Andor, right?
Oh God, Andor. I don't. Mother of. I don't remember her name. Mother of May and Osh.
Is it Coril?
Yeah, how do you spell it though?
Koril. Koril. She's played by Margarita Levia. Margarita.
I'm sorry, what was it? Koril.
L. Zabraks don't have pointy ears. Okay.
Yeah. All right, so here's what it says. Again, we're just going off a basic Google search. This is actually says AI. In the Acolyte, mother is a Zabrak, a carnivorous species from the planet Iridonia and Dathomir that are almost human. Darth Maul is also a Zabrak. So,
I was under the assumption that the female members of the Maul species didn't have spikes from an old episode. So have they ruined that as also? Have they ruined that also?
Again, I'm going strictly
I'll deep dive into it whilst I'm opening my can of Wingman Brewdog. Look at that pigeon, guys. Looks just like Headless. I think his car is the same color as that as well. I do think his car is the same color as that. But again, happy birthday, my friend.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Although it passed an hour and a half ago for me because it's already bloody Thursday for me. 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh no, bro! I celebrate the whole month of June, so we're good.
Yeah, don't tell me about it.
Okay, so I put, is there do female
Zabraks have horns?
Have pointy ears, or
no, have horns on the head.
Or do you want horns?
Yeah, she has horns on her head, bro. I assumed it wasn't.
Where females of the species known as Night Sisters ruled, blah, blah, blah. Female Dathomirian Zabraks lack the cranial horns shared by the rest. So I don't know.
And she has horns on her head, so how is she Zabrak?
Then what is she?
Thank you. I thought I was right.
She's obviously a vision that Plagueis is showing them so he can come back and murder them with his lightsaber.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. Dude, I don't know. Thank you, chillin', bro. Appreciate it, brother. Thanks, Brad. Yeah.
Maybe she's bi, horny.
Oh my God.
Oh, Jesus.
Bro, I don't even know what else to say for this episode. Like, I feel like I don't even know. It's a train wreck. We'll see what happens next week, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how they're going to explain it.
Next week I will not care. I'm going to be all dragoned out. I will not care.
I know, dude. Like, listen, guys, we're like 4 days away from House of the Dragon. Tune in Sunday night, 10:15 p.m. Eastern for House of the Dragon, episode 1. I'm probably going to be all pissed off because someone died. But,
and then tune in Monday because we're going to be breaking it down in detail.
Monday
over
we'll
my
be
channel.
over on Milky's channel. We'll be breaking it down for sure. He'll tell us all the spoilers.
I've already got scenes in the breakdown that I haven't even aired yet.
But I don't know. I don't know. It's amazing that we're only 3 episodes into this series, honestly. Like, we still have 5 more to go, and it's already this.
Well done to Disney, because Disney knows what's coming on Sunday. I'll tell you that now. All of New York is covered with stuff for House of the Dragon. Companies, bridges, buildings, everything is being covered in House of the Dragon merchandise. Choose your side. You've seen Headless post images of him as King Headless without a crown. I must say, what king posts a picture without a crown? That's my first question. But like, Disney have done something good here, because they know what's coming on Sunday, and they know that nobody's going to be watching Disney Plus throughout the rest of the 8 weeks that House of the Dragon is airing. So for them to do something this week that really causes controversy within the Star Wars community, gets people talking, gets their name out there, I think it's a good marketing move to have such a controversial episode the weekend before House of the Dragon takes over the world. I think it's a good idea. So well done, Disney. I give this 3 out of 5. It was in the middle.
3 out of 5?
3 out of 5, bro. Just down from last week. What did I give last week? Like 7 out of 10?
Yeah, so 6
so
out
I'll
of
give
10.
this 5. Yeah, I give this 6.
All right, I give it a 2 out of 10. So, but
I'm not surprised.
Let's see what happens. So, yes, Brad, I will. I'm gonna try to hop over to Adam's stream here in the last 10 minutes if I can, and chilling. Yes, that's. I literally just looked that up. So yeah, no mention of pointy ears. Crow isn't
You're welcome.
Crow isn't it? Yeah. So there we go. I mean, that's interesting because I actually did not know that until we looked it up. So it's interesting. We'll see what happens.
I agree, Brad. Brad's thinking of starting watching House of the Dragon again. Such a long wait between seasons.
Oh,
yeah.
dude,
you can wait, bro.
Yeah, dude, you can literally watch that in like 2 days because it's so.
That's why you subscribe to Ryan Milky, because I never shut up about it.
Yeah, and it's so damn good. And I actually, yesterday I just dropped a video. It's like, what is it?
Part 1 recap, 1 to 5.
9-minute video, 9 minutes, and I catch you straight up on the first 5 episodes. Tomorrow I'll be dropping my episodes 6 to 10 video. So I just got to record it and edit it. And I already wrote the script, and it took me a long time. So
and you want to stay tuned to my channel for Saturday. I'm going to go live on Saturday, just a random, I don't know what time. But on Saturday, I'm going to go live, and we are going to explore the world of House of the Dragon on social media. Yep. We're going to look at Instagram posts. We're going to look at people's stuff from the premieres. We're going to look at all that stuff and get super excited for it, and we're just going to go live. So please come hang out on Saturday over on the Ryan Milky channel, talk all things House of the Dragon and building. And I promise you, I will remain spoiler-free all night. We're just going to look at stuff that's out there already on the internet. That's it.
Sounds good, dude. I'm in.
Are you guys doing a recap? Yes, bro. Every Sunday, Monday.
Yep. Sundays, it'll be 10:15 or so, right after the episode. So remember, we're Eastern Standard. So 10:15, the episode drops at 9. They're just about over an hour. It seems like most of them. So we'll be live at 10:15. And, I like to say we go an hour. It just depends how the conversation takes us and see what happens. And then on Monday, Ryan makes a slideshow of all images and we really
very detailed breakdown, scene by scene, stuff that you might have missed that I would obviously clearly know. I'm just going to let you guys know about it. We're going to speculate about what's coming and look back at old things, because season 1 was filled with prophecies and with secrets for season 2, and I can't wait to show all you guys what these things are. It's just going to be great. I'm going to try and get those breakdowns down to less than 60 minutes if I can, but 90 minutes will be the max every Monday night.
So he's saying Daryl Dixon was pushed back. I didn't even know that. I thought it was coming in July.
I gave up on The Walking Dead after I watched the Rick and Michonne. I was done.
You didn't like it? I thought you liked
No, I loved it. I was perfect. I was like, I'm done. I don't need to keep filling the gaps. I'm done. Rick got home and met his kids again. I'm happy.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, they're obviously going to continue it because people watch it. So I don't know. Yeah. I did not hear about the Daryl Dixon thing with Carol being pushed back. But listen, dude, if it gets pushed back to August, I'm good with it, because we already have Acolyte and Game of Thrones.
And The Boys comes out tomorrow. First 3 episodes of The Boys drops tomorrow. I'm watching all 3 of them tomorrow.
Yeah. I feel like I need to go back and rewatch the last episode of season 3.
And then watch Gen V, because that connects.
Yeah, I didn't watch any of that, dude. Dude, I don't know. I've been just crushing it on Fortnite. So, that's what we do.
Yeah, good for you. I've been taking a short break and I've absolutely been loving it. It's nothing personal to anybody. It's actually, this season has got to me a lot. It's not my play style. I like it, but I will be back. I'm just taking a personal break.
You need to come back and I'll show you how to win. Well, I can't win, but I come in second place a lot. I just can't win that one-on-one battle, dude. I swear I had the most second place finishes of anybody because I feel like every match I can come in second place. It's horrible.
And then don't forget Friday. Good. I'm hosting Horseman on Friday over on my channel as well. We are going to be doing a WWE predictions again because it is Clash at the Castle in Scotland this weekend. So that'll be fun. Very, very busy weekend.
Dude, all I know is, Brad, is that my wife has been talking about this for like weeks. And like I do like it. I do like the Rat Pack, but like I'm not as crazy as she is, and she can't wait for that documentary. How do I play Fortnite with no head? It makes it easier because then people can't get headshots on me. So there you go.
Yeah, bro, just chilling in the basement. Just know I am so glad that the Star Wars lightsaber is no longer on the map. That's what I'm going to say. I'm just so glad. I never once picked the thing up. And that's not a lie. That's not a lie. I never once picked up the lightsaber in that season because I have a co-host called Headless Ned Stark who was adamant that it was his.
Bro, all I know is if you come back to Lego, dude, just wait to see what I have. Because
I will come back.
Dude, I got it hooked up like it ain't nobody's business. Like you come in, like boom, let's go. Like there's no messing around anymore. Like let's just go. All right, guys. Listen, guys. We appreciate you guys hanging out. It's 8:55. Head over to Chillin. I'm sure he has a lot to say.
Chillin, drop the link in chat, brother. You've got a wrench. Drop the link in chat.
Chat. Great guy. He'll be on our channel probably here in the next couple weeks. And
remember, BOP's live on the other channel as well. Go check out BOP. Everybody loves him.
Absolutely.
We all love BOP. He's a great guy.
Yeah, I try to go live before BOP or after, but
it's Headless's birthday, so he gets away with it this evening.
Yeah, so I had to go a little later than I wanted to. But dude, it's unbelievable. We've been on this thing for 90 minutes, and
just have to stroke my Damon pop.
There we go. Dude, I can't wait.
I'm gonna start singing to it like he sings to Thermophar, bro. I'm getting that close. It's like I need the show to come now, and it's really doing my head in because I go on YouTube and I see people have already seen first 3 episodes, and I'm like, how the frick did you get these episodes? Like, what the hell? So I need to reach out to HBO because I need some privileges.
I know, right? Yeah, dude. Daemon Targaryen. Listen, he's coming to New York Comic Con. I feel like I'm definitely gonna get him signed my NFT pop. And my wife, I'm like, I told my wife, I'm like, do you want to get a picture with him? And she's like, I don't know, maybe. I'm like, well, I already got mine over here, but I'm like, man, maybe we'll go together. We'll see. Dude, Matt Smith he's absolutely amazing. He's such a nice guy. And there you go. And Ryan's got his too. There you go. He's.
I need to meet him one more time because I would like him to sign this. I would like him to sign right above his name here.
Yep.
And then I'm pretty much done with meeting Matt Smith. That'll be my 3rd time.
I know. Well, that's what I said about hating Christensen. I've met him like 4 times. So, it is what it is. But, all right, guys. Thank you so much. Check out channel memberships. Our next giveaway will be August. And guess what, guys?
$2.99.
Coming back from San Diego Comic-Con. So you know that August giveaway is going to be lit. So check that out. $2.99 a month. You help support the channel. After 2 months of support, you will get the Headless Ned Stark pin. I will send that over to you guys. And again, I appreciate any and all the love and support. I really do appreciate it. I will be at San Diego Comic-Con. I'm still trying to come up with details. I'm trying to do some type of meetup if you're going to be there. And I know a few people have reached out to me. So we're trying to figure something out. In New York Comic-Con, same thing. So, all right, guys. Tomorrow I will be dropping my 2nd episode of the House of the Dragon, just recap of episodes 6 through 10, and then we will be live on Sunday at 10:15 right here, breaking it down. We're gonna cry. We're gonna laugh.
He's
And
gonna
we're
cry.
probably
He's
cry
gonna
some
cry.
more. I'm gonna probably
He's gonna cry. I'm gonna laugh with gleeful. I'm just gonna be so happy.
Yes, but we are finally here. I can't even believe that we're only a few days away from House of the Dragon Season 2. And we'll continue to break down the Acolyte every single Wednesday through the end of the season. All right, guys. For Ryan, I am Headless. Thank you very, very much. Thank you for the super chats chilling. I really appreciate it, brother. I'll see you over there on your live here in a few minutes. Guys, stay milky. Keep those heads on, and we'll see you guys in the next video.